Hey YouTube, it's raining here and I want to shoot a video because I want to shoot out a question to my subscribers and fellow viewers. I had my first YouTube live session last night. I had a few people that came to it, which was cool. And one of the questions that was really, the conversation was about medication and its validity in our society. The person that I was speaking with had been on many medications, up to 17, including benzos, antipsychotics, SSRIs, pretty much everything for mental health. And that person had came off everything and was free now and was 80% back to normal. So, and I'm very proud of them for that. That is incredible for anybody to do. So, I haven't taken away that many medications. I've been on a total of 3 that I took more than a week. And that was originally Xanax, which I've been off of for going on 4 years now. And then gabapentin, which I'm still on a low dose of. And then I took a Lamictal for about a year, and I just recently, about 2 months ago, came off of that. So I was very much against medication, and at the core of me, I want to come off and be off everything, of course. Who doesn't? And yes, I believe a lot of people, medications can be a placebo. Placebos obviously work because they provide hope, which provides healing in the brain. But medications used properly and supplementations can be useful because, and this is my opinion, which is backed by science, and I know that there's science to support the other paradigm, but when I got on the Lamictal, I was at a point where I just couldn't take any more of the way I was feeling. I just felt so horrible. So and it really opened up my eyes because it worked. It was starting to work. I'm not saying it's a cure at all, obviously not. But I was feeling alive and happy for the first time in 7 years. Maybe my whole life. Because genetically, not only genetically, it's alcoholism in my family, and I had a lot of that. And I consider myself an alcoholic, a self-diagnosed alcoholic, because I binge drank every weekend and up through college, but I never drank daily. I only drank on Friday, Saturday night, sometimes just one night a week. But I drank to excess, and I lived for those nights. Everything else was just blah. And when I quit drinking, things got really bad for me. So genetically, I think that I am low in GABA, and I know that there's things like yoga and meditation that can help with raising GABA levels naturally, as well as a proper diet. But sometimes, if a person has been through trauma, child abuse, things like that, sexual abuse, chronic pain, they can deplete levels of neurotransmitters or nutrients so drastically that it becomes symptomatic and very hard to change with natural things, especially if you're so deficient that you can't even get out of bed. I mean, if you can't get out of bed to even cook or go to the store, then you kind of become into a cycle of self-fulfilling damage, and that is going to wreak havoc on your system further, as far as being able to become more depressed, more isolated, and then, it's just not a healthy thing for anybody to go through. So that's just, my thought on how medication supplements for certain individuals, and just a smaller percentage, not the crazy amounts of people that are on it for everything from neck pain to a toe ache. Yeah, you don't need hardcore tranquilizers or opiates or different, medications like that for things that can be fixed. But medication for people that are not functioning or non-functioning can be a useful tool, and that is because anxiety untreated and depression untreated, which usually goes untreated, usually people just, okay, well, everybody feels this way, and they just keep pushing and pushing, and then they tax their adrenals with coffee and caffeine and stimulants, and then they relax with depressants and alcohol, which these are all medications. Horrible, horrible medications. And then they're drugs, right? And then ultimately, they become so symptomatic where they can't get out of bed. They can't feed their children. They can't function in society. At that point, if you take a medication with the mindset that once and hopefully feel better enough to go outside, to get out of here, because pharmaceutical companies and the doctors don't care about you. I mean, maybe you have a good doctor and they really do care about you, but in my experience, and I've seen my fair share, they usually don't. So, not trying to diss doctors, but really I've had a bad run-in with many doctors who just give you 5 minutes, they want to give you a pill, so they're not going to check for deficiencies, or they just want to get you a pill and then keep you on that pill, because it's too much work to have to navigate your life and figure out what truly is bothering you. I mean, that's what counseling for. But so anyway, I find exercise, running, to be the biggest antidepressant I could imagine, as I often feel very great and alive after I run. But anyway, that's a different topic. But what I wanted to say is, you have to go into medication with the mindset that when I'm better, I'm going to change some of these things. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to, meditate. I'm going to do all these things. Because even at me, like with my anger and anxiety so bad, and I'm in a rut right now, but I was doing a lot better, I couldn't meditate. I tried to do yoga, and I got so angry, because it's like my brain isn't communicating properly, and I get flustered and frustrated and impatient to a point where I threw the remote control at the wall, and this was a couple years ago, shattered everywhere from trying to do yoga, because that's how bad my anger was, and my frustration level, because I had so much fog and confusion in my head that it made things very, very difficult for me to function. Now, if you, like I said, anxiety and depression, if you're not treating it and you're just sitting there hoping it gets better, and maybe it works for some people, but you come off all your meds and you just continue to ruminate and feel awful all day, every day, it's very doubtful you'll ever get better, because you're just pouring gasoline on the fire. You're just stressing about stress. You're not doing anything constructive. Your brain doesn't just, yes, it can heal, but if you're only with the proper inputs, and that's exercise, healthy lifestyle, proper sleep, plenty of water, all those things, meditation, which I'm trying to get into. So, where do you go from here? I mean, basically, you've got to, what am I saying? You got to make a choice and do what's best for you, but if you're going to choose to take medication, it would be my suggestion, and I'm not a doctor, my suggestion is that you take it with the idea that I'm going to change my lifestyle for the better when I get better. And if you're not that bad, and you're still functioning, and you can still go to work, and you could still go to stores and function, then maybe don't try medication. Maybe try changing your lifestyle first, because that would be the best case scenario. That is obviously I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it. I mean, if you can already function and you're just kind of anxious, or you're having minor social anxiety, or but you're still functioning. You're not like I was or am half the time, where I can't even go anywhere or do anything, and then try some of the healthier approaches. But that's just my suggestion. But you're just going to keep damaging an already damaged brain if you're not if you're not treating it with something. And then if you treat it and feel better, and then go out and then come off the meds, that's sort of my approach. And I want to get your feedback on this and see what you guys think about it. I'd love to hear it. I've seen the power of medication in other people and myself. So anyway, all right, good luck to you guys, and I hope you have a good day. Talk to you soon.